and good afternoon to the citizens of the planet Earth, to my fellow human beings. I want you to know that I see you first as a human, then as an Indian or a Chinese, or as a citizen of Canada, the United States, or Mexico. I am a son of Ham, the descendants of Ham, whom have been cursed to be the fetchers of wood and the carriers of water. My people were brought to the United States or to the New World, to the Americas from Africa, for the purpose of serving the interests of the European colonialists and to build up the homes and the life of the Europeans. We worked from sun up till sundown for no pay. And today, as a result of the sacrifice of our ancestors, we have an ancestral claim, a birthright to the Americas, a birthright to the Americas. And we have a vested interest in what happens and what goes on and in the destiny of the Americas and in the destiny of the United States of America. Today I speak to you as the self-appointed leader of Ham, the supreme leader, Pope Peter Emmanuel I, commander of the liberating army of Ham, leader of the reintegration and the Hamite awakening. On today, we take this moment to address not just the citizens of Canada and the United States of America and Mexico, but of all of the Americas and of all of the world, because we are the Hamites who are citizens of the United States of America and who hold a unique position in the world. We come to you today to address the issue of COVID-19, the alleged coronavirus. And as we have said in our previous publications, we have two theories. One theory is that we believe the animals of the world, particularly this animal called the pangolin or pangolins, created this virus to protect themselves from the plunderers of earth, who is man and who is woman, and whom are the gods of the earth. Our second theory is that COVID-19 is part of a global experiment in what we have identified and isolate as biological warfare. And the evidence that leads us to believe that, excuse us, comes from the fact that when the virus appeared in China, it was made very racist, very racial. The Wuhan virus, the Chinese plague. And as far as we know, and as far as we can tell, the great powers of the world, the European powers, the United States of America, no one went to the aid of China. No one went and said, similarly, if we recall in the age of Ebola an African man had made it successfully to the United States, contaminated with Ebola, which motivated and mobilized the United States to fight against Ebola. And we see that all Europeans who were affected and afflicted by Ebola, and we do not know yet what their status are today. We have not had an opportunity to check on them. They survived. But in many cases, any African who was afflicted with Ebola died. So this supposed COVID-19 appears in Wuhan, China. Wuhan, China, a major trading area of China, a major export port of China. At the very time that our leadership and our government have been telling us that they are engaged in a trade war with China. Now, many people today are listening to the television, except for the United States stock market, which seem to be very knowledgeable and very insightful to see the lies and the mistruths. So that even though the Federal Reserve Bank lowered interest rates to near zero and is ready to take it negative, the stock market is still selling out. Because Donald Trump himself was boasting, oh, look how good he has done for people's 401ks. But Donald Trump, of his own ignorance, does not know that the majority of people who support him and the majority of people who vote for him do not have 401ks. Donald Trump does not know that the average citizen of the United States of America does not own stock equities. Donald Trump does not understand that the average citizen of the United States of America, the type of job they own, will not allow them to benefit from a payroll tax credit. And all of a sudden, all of the pundits, the Republicans, as well as the Democrats, nobody is out there calling out Donald Trump for what he really is and for what he really is doing. Absolutely no one. Everybody's playing along. And then they're going to make Donald Trump look like a hero, like he did something great. And Donald Trump is a buffoon. Donald Trump has shown how easy it is to usurp power in a so-called democracy and to intimidate a party and take over its leadership and to begin to institute authoritarian rule in what we claim is the greatest democracy on earth. My people, there is no way to forgive the leadership of the United States of America. And those of you who want to do so, those of you who choose to think that Trump is leading us in the right direction, you can go and choke on yourselves. You can go and hang yourselves. That's how I feel about you. Because Trump lied. Trump is the leader of the free world. Trump is the leader of the United States of America. And Trump has a responsibility on his shoulder that you cannot take lightly. You cannot take lightly. You cannot think that your leadership is about the tan you spray on your face in the morning or how your hair is going to look at the press conference. And Trump have not understood what it means to be president of the United States of America. We voted for Trump. We supported for Trump. We walk around in Trump hats, make America great again, as Hamites. when Europeans would not dare to be seen in a Trump hat. And eventually we had to burn those hats in a voodoo ceremony at the turn of the decade and the beginning of this new decade, and to wish a prayer of destruction upon the Trump administration, which, to our amazement, is coming into being right now. If there's anybody in the United States of America that think that Donald Trump is worthy to be president or will vote for him in a second term, besides the fact that the elections are going to be canceled, then you need to move out of our country. You need to go back to Europe. You need to go back to Ireland. You need to go back to England, wherever your forefathers came from. But this, the United States of America, the land of the African people, the land of the sons and daughters of Ham, we're going to stay here, we're going to claim it, and we're going to protect it. The Trump government called the virus the Wuhan virus. The Trump government ridiculed the nation of China. The Trump government, as the leader of a superpower, and China being another superpower, was supposed to collaborate with China to keep this virus in check. The only reason we can come up with, the only argument we can come up with, is that the Trump administration, in collaboration with Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, decided to launch a biological attack against China in order to cripple the Chinese economy. And we have the evidence to show that. We don't need to give you the evidence. Just go and look at Trump news conferences from late December to the killing of Qasem Soleimani, to January, to February, and you will see where Trump boasts how great the stock market is doing, how great the US economy is, and where Trump boasts that the United States of America is the most prepared and the most ready to confront the coronavirus. You go and you look at it, and you come and you show me that I am wrong. Donald Trump is a traitor. Donald Trump is guilty of acting against the interests of the government and the people of the United States of America. The Republican leadership is guilty of acting against the interests of the United States of America, the Constitution of the United States of America, and to protect the role of the United States of America to be the supreme nation against in the nations of the world. Donald Trump believed from his homosexual mentor, Citizen Cone, that if you repeat something over and over again, it will be true. So if you say we are exceptional, we'll be exceptional even if we cannot read and write. If you say we have the best this and the best that, it will be true even though we don't have it. In every news conference, Trump claims we got the best scientists, we got the best researchers. My dear citizens of the United States of America, my dear citizens of the world, I am present on the ground in the United States of America. All of the hospitals in the United States of America do not have simplistic protective masks for patients, for employees, and for visitors. All of the hospitals, many of them owned by Healthcare Corporation of America, HCA, and the Fritz family, the very people who killed my wife, they don't have protective gear for the first responders who are at the forefront of fighting this pandemic. And they want to have these big news conferences and portray before us a bunch of buffoons lying to us. I want to tell you, and I want to tell you the truth. You are going to be quarantined in your home. Don't care what Trump said today in that news conference. Next week, you cannot leave your house without permission. I don't care whether you're in the state of Texas, the state of California, in New Jersey, in Massachusetts, or in New York. They keep trying to give it to us piecemeal. But you see, Trump is not a real leader. He's not a Vladimir Putin. He's not a Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping, the president and the supreme commander and the secretary general of the People's Liberation Army and of the Communist Party of China. China, on which we depend for every last goddamn thing. Because our leaders here, the capitalists here, the haters of the sons and daughters of Ham, didn't want to teach the children of Ham, didn't want to give jobs to the children of Ham, didn't want to help working class white people, decided it was best to take the business, and they uprooted entire manufacturing plants and brought that equipment to China and to Vietnam and to India, from where we have to depend on for most of our medications, for high blood sugar, for high blood pressure, for erectile dysfunction, and all the other things that afflict us in this affluent society. No one right now is talking against Trump. And Trump is a tribulation. Trump is the problem. If Trump was the genius that he said he was, if Trump was being truthful when he told us that we were the most prepared, he said it. I didn't say it. I don't know. He's our president. Like he always boasts, I am the president. So Trump tell you, don't panic. Don't overstock. He lying. Because in next week, the grocery stores are going to shut down. And I'm not trying to spread panic or to make... I was in the store today and I had a mask. I'm recovering from a cold. And you should see how people acted towards me. Our society is losing its compassion. There is no more Jewish compassion. There is no more Christian compassion. There is no Islamic compassion. There is no Buddhist compassion. There is no Hindu compassion. It's going to be a dog-eat-dog society. So what am I saying? You cannot be fooled by Trump. You cannot all of a sudden, because Trump here is looking nice and well in the news conference, and he have all the stooges around him, think that he has done or is doing something right, that you might even be inclined to vote for Trump again. Besides, there will be no election. The elections are going to be suspended. And Joe Biden, the idiot Democrat, the donkey, who is contemplating to put Hillary Clinton as his running mate. Joe, if you can hear me, somebody tell Joe, we don't want Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is a bitch. Hillary Clinton destroyed enough African country. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton lied to the people of Haiti. And the people of Haiti put a voodoo curse on Hillary and Bill. That's why she lost to Trump in 2016. My fellow citizens of the United States of America, citizens of the world, the powers that be have unleashed a biological attack on the world. They wanted to see how it would work. If you go and listen to Trump's news conferences, you will hear him boast and you'll hear him say, China was on the verge of becoming the world's largest economy. I bet my life on this. He said China was on the verge of becoming the world's largest economy. By implication, China had to be checked. By implication, we hear the boast that the virus has killed many of the leaders in the Persian nation of Iran. The report on Iran is derogatory. And then today you hear about Italy, and today you hear about Spain. Why are we not speaking derogatory about Spain and about Italy? And why all of the citizens of the United States had to run back prematurely from Europe to be treated and herded like cattle in their own country by immigration and by customs? My fellow citizens, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. said longevity is good. He said that it would be nice if you could live a long life, and then he asked the question, what's the reason for living a long life if you didn't do anything with it? And when King became a martyr and when King was assassinated, he was only 39 years old. 39 years old. And when we look back at his life and his achievements and his struggle, you thought this was an old man. But that was a young man, fired up with the spirit of revolution. Martin Luther King Jr. is the conscience of the United States of America. I may get in trouble. I may be sanctioned. I may even be killed for criticizing Donald Trump. I may be destroyed for calling for the downfall of Donald Trump and for the removal of Donald Trump as the President of the United States and his intention to use the disguise of this virus to cancel the 2020 elections. Donald Trump partisans may themselves choose to come to look for me individually. And I say welcome. I have a welcome mat at the front door waiting for you. My fellow citizens, do not be fooled by the news conferences. Do not be fooled by Donald Trump. Donald Trump already told us who were the most prepared. Healthcare Corporation of America, which owns the largest number of private hospitals in the United States. Our nurses, whom are our sisters, our friends, our lovers, our brothers, our cousins, are going to work without any biohazard suits, without gloves, and without masks. And we knew about this in December. My friend, when your neighbor's house is on fire, it don't matter the dispute between you and your neighbor. When your neighbor's house is on fire, you must grab a bucket of water and join the bucket brigade to put that fire out. Because soon, if that fire is not under control, it's going to jump to your house. My fellow citizens, when China was in need, Trump ridiculed China. Trump berated China. And Trump lied to us and said we were the best. And even today, every time this man speaks, he says, oh, we got the best this and the best that. And I know you're not going to like this, but I'll tell you something. The only truthful thing Donald Trump ever said in his life is that some women out there like to be grabbed by their vaginas. And that if it's a celebrity doing it, they won't tell anyone. And I know from personal experience, I believe it's true. Some women, they want to be grabbed by their vaginas. And if you're their lover, their boyfriend, or their husband, you should go and grab your wife's vagina before Donald Trump does it for you, or one of his cohorts. That's the only thing that he have ever said truthful to the American people, or to the people of the United States of America. Today, I raise my voice in opposition to the Republican Party, its abdication to the leadership of Donald Trump. I declare Donald Trump to have acted treasonous as treason before the United States of America, lying to the people of the United States about the threat of the coronavirus, not being prepared. And as I have told, and those of you who know me, I have repeatedly told you that our food supply does not come from the government. It comes from Walmart. It comes from Target. It comes from Costco. It comes from Sam's. It comes from Boston Market, or whoever these vendors are. And in the time of crisis, it is not a U.S. military truck that's going to bring us food. The military is only there to wage war. When the military is deployed, and they will be very shortly, to make sure we stay in our homes, to make sure we have permission to leave our neighborhoods, because this virus, which is part of a global biological warfare test, is in the stage of blowback. And the blowback is hitting the United States. President Trump and the military leadership lied. They had not made preparations for the experiment. And I say to you that these people, if it were me, and if I had the power, they would all go on trial for treason. And you know what the penalty is for treason. So forget about impeachment. Forget about not being able to run for president again. We are calling for Trump to be charged with treason. Okay, there's no way the leading country of the world, no way the leadership of the free world can be reacting today and be in the state. You, as an ordinary citizen, go to your neighborhood store, go to your neighborhood and see what is going on. And I ask you to join me in this call. Join me in this vote. Let us ask for the immediate removal of Donald Trump, and ask Nancy Pelosi to take over the leadership of the United States, because they already plan to cancel the elections in November. That was the plan between Trump and Bibi Netanyahu in deploying this virus, knowing that there would be blowback, because the earth is flat. We are all connected. And as quickly as things move on the internet, is the same speed at which it's moved in global travel. My fellow citizens of the United States of America, my fellow citizens of humanity, Donald Trump have an impact on your life whether you're a US citizen or a citizen of foreign countries. So we ask you to join us in this petition to call for the immediate resignation of Donald Trump for placing the Western countries and the entire earth in jeopardy in his decision to deploy a biological attack on China in an effort to slow China from becoming the leading economy in the world. In collaboration with Donald Trump, we are placing the name of Benjamin Netanyahu as his co-conspirator, and we are alleging that the CIA and the Mossad have been involved in this operation. We risk our lives and we risk our freedom in making such statements. We are not looking to make people scared, and people should be scared. Because if you listen to everything we're telling you and you go back and look, you'll see that we have said the truth. And you see that the government has lied and continues to lie. The government wants us to believe that we're not getting ready to go under lockdown. And I'm telling you, be ready for the lockdown. I'm telling you, be ready for 30 to 60 day quarantine lockdown where you cannot leave your home without permission, where you won't have access to food freely. If they are willing, if they will suspend football, if they will suspend baseball, if they will suspend basketball, you better believe they are going to suspend what is it? It's not civil rights. Your constitutional rights is about to be suspended. Right now, Trump, in holding all these various news conferences, are trying to make it look to the people of the United States, the poor working white people, the illiterate white people, the people who believe that a billionaire, Trump only have $1.2 billion, is not even that rich as he claimed. The people who think that Trump would serve their interests, and he don't care about poor people, he don't care about poor working white people. I don't like to call people white people, but European people or settlers, Europeans who settled this continent, who want to deny the Africans their right to this continent. And we are telling you today, I, Peter Emmanuel, the self-appointed leader of HAM, say to every person in the United States of America, whether they are of European descent, Asian descent, African descent, or any descent whatsoever, that we, the descendants of the slaves, have a birthright to this land and to the Americas, and we will die for it, we'll fight for it. And those of you who come against us, the days of Jim Crow, the days of lynching, the days of death without being accountable is over. And that's why we say to you, for Mimi Croc is going to account. We're not scared. Death does not scare us. The loss of our freedom does not scare us. I, Peter Emmanuel, have witnessed how easy it is to die. Dying is easy. What is hard is the struggle, to remain in the struggle, to continue the struggle. A luta continua. The struggle continues until such time that our people will become feared by the other races of the earth, and our lands will not be exploited by Europeans and by Asians, and will have an opportunity to redevelop and to rebuild our tribe and to rebuild our nation. Today, COVID-19 is a biological attack waged by the United States and Israel against China. They think they were so smart, but they didn't think of the blowback. And Trump in January and in February, up until last Friday, told us that we were the best. Even in every news conference this man has, he tried to talk about how great somebody is, how perfect they are, how skillful they are, until they fall out with him. Excuse my burping. I've been drinking the Corona beer to inoculate my body against the coronavirus. But in this message, we want you all to understand that this COVID-19, we know that it's a biological attack. We know that it's a global conspiracy. We know that there's a conspiracy at play to take away the civil liberties and the constitutional rights of the citizens of the United States of America. We know that there is a plan to suspend and to cancel the election, the national election. And we know that Joe Biden might be stupid enough to make Hillary Clinton his running mate, in which case, if he does that, we're going to go back and vote for Trump anyway. And I will vote for Trump. But that notwithstanding, Trump is an idiot. Trump has shown he's an idiot. He's not a politician. He's not a political leader. He's a man who is used to grabbing vaginas. And you know, if Trump knows that women like to be grabbed by the vaginas, which he's been truthful about, and he was in charge of the pageant, what was it, Miss America, Miss USA? You have to imagine that he grabbed a lot of young women vaginas. And those young women have not come forward, like in the case of the producer from Hollywood, Bernstein and Epstein and Weinstein and Birkenstein. And none of them will come forward and tell on Trump. And as Trump said, they like it. And if you're a celebrity, they won't say anything. And he wasn't lying, and that's why so many women voted for him. That's the only thing he has been truthful about. But he have lied to us about our preparedness for the coronavirus and COVID-19. And I don't care whom you are. If you are ignorant and illiterate enough to vote for Trump again, we need to revoke your citizenship. The same way Israel revoked the citizenship of certain citizens that it don't like, whether they are Palestinian Arabs or even other Jews, and throw them across the border into Lebanon. We'll put you in Mexico. We'll drop you off on the border with Mexico and revoke your U.S. citizenship if you choose to vote for Trump again. It's not that we want Biden. We don't want Hillary. We'll not accept Hillary. But we might go with Amy. She has spunk. She is vibrant. She shows a certain dynamic nature. as a woman and as a leader. And I can say that we, our movement and our church, would accept her because we know Joe Biden is on the verge of collapse. He's showing signs of dementia. And it is all a facade to try to get him to oppose Trump, because no one in the Republican Party will stand up and say that Trump is ignorant, Trump is illiterate, Trump does not understand government, and Trump does not understand the responsibility of being the leader of the free world. We were in support of Trump, and it hurts us. It burns my soul. It burns my very soul and my very being to see how Trump has turned out as a leader, as a puppet for AIPAC, as a puppet for Benjamin Netanyahu, and as a man who has went around the world and done irrational and irresponsible things. Trump thought that he could kill a Persian leader, and somehow it's going to advance the cause of our empire in the Middle East. And those people said to us, they said you see, Iran is a country where the Iranians are not going anywhere. They are in the Middle East, they're in the Persian Gulf. 85 million people. We have to come from 8,000 miles away with shiny missiles and shiny bombs. And our shiny missiles and shiny bombs did not win in Afghanistan. And if we couldn't win against a ragtag Taliban army, I know for certain that we are not going to be able to dominate or to defeat the Persian nation. Yes, we might cripple them. Yes, we might bring them back into the Wood Age. But they're not going to go back to the Stone Age. They have many borders. And Russia and China is going to make sure that they stay supplied to drain and to degrade the United States of America. So those leaders in Washington, those AIPAC people, those evangelists, those people who have an unholy alliance between the so-called Christians for Jews are all wrong. They are all wrong. We've been studying them for over 36 years. And everything they have done has been wrong, and there has been blowback. How many trillions of dollars on wars in the Middle East and in Afghanistan, and Hamite people, African people in the United States of America cannot get money to fund their colleges, to fund their schools, and to feed their families. And forget about the African people in America. Let us address just common working people. Common working people, white Americans, working class people whom are despised by the aristocrats, the ruling classes of the United States of America. And now they come and say this COVID-19 is here, and they want to revoke all our constitutional rights. And they boasted to us, Trump boasted, we are the best, we are the most prepared, we have the smartest people. My friend, you and I know that the best attorneys work in private companies. The best scientists work for private companies. We know that the people who work for the government, and I don't want to be critical of them, they are people too, they are human beings, they do their best. But the government does not have the best when it comes to lawyers, when it comes to scientists, when it comes to people. And Trump has got into the government and he have made it like Hitler. If you're not loyal to him, you cannot be a professional civil servant. My fellow citizens of the United States of America, my fellow citizens of the world, we have to get rid of Donald Trump. And we have to do it sooner than later. Donald Trump is a failure. Donald Trump is a buffoon. Donald Trump is an entertainer. Donald Trump is not a Republican. Donald Trump is not true to the Republican causes. He is an opportunist, an egotistic maniac. You see, the CIA always does a professional psychological profile on the leaders of the world. Where is the psychological profile of Donald Trump to show that he is unfit for the leadership of the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America, and to be the leader of the free world? Where is that report? Why has it not been published? You tell us Saddam Hussein is crazy. You tell us Muammar Gaddafi is crazy. You tell us Idi Amin was crazy. You say the only people who can have a dynasty are the Windsors of England who stole their wealth from Africa and from India and from Indonesia and from all the oppressed peoples of the world. And now you come and you say Donald Trump is suited to lead us. A man who cannot even make a proper sentence. He can't even speak the English language properly. My dear friends and my fellow Republicans, I want you to know that the leadership, Mitt Romney, that old no-lip Mitch McConnell, Lindsey, homosexual Graham, and all the other homosexuals in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, who will soon be discovered and exposed, who call themselves conservatives and call themselves Christians, and they're fake Christians. They're not conservatives, they're not traditionalists. They do not understand the woman's places in the home, and she need to take care of the family and raise the children, and the man need to go out and work. And they are destroying Western society. That's why many of us Christians have to turn to Vladimir Putin, who stand with the Church of Russia, who stand with the Eastern Rite of Christianity. My dear friends, if any one of you are so crazy to think that Trump is showing any kind of leadership right now, when Trump told us in January, when Trump ridiculed China, when Trump ridiculed Iran, when Trump ridiculed all the countries where he, the CIA, and Israel had deployed this coronavirus, COVID-19, as part of a test of biological warfare. And since 2001, our government has told us that we face a threat of biological warfare from Al Qaeda, from Osama bin Laden, and other so-called terrorist countries. That's what they call these people, terrorist countries. They don't even have any respect for them. And we were supposed to be prepared. And here we are, HCA, the largest privately held Hospitals in the United States do not have masks for nurses or gloves for nurses or hazmat suit for doctors. And every clinic and every place in the United States is unprepared for this biological attack that was waged on China to disable China and to destroy the gross domestic product of China, to slow China from becoming the largest economy in the world. Trump himself said it. Go and look and listen to the press conferences from January up until the 13th of March. And you will see that Trump said China was on the verge of becoming the world's largest economy. So we had to take it down with a biological attack. These very intelligent people in Israel and in Langley, Virginia, did not consider that the world is flat. The world is flat and we're all interconnected, and that it doesn't take but a few hours for HIV/AIDS, for Ebola, for COVID-19 to travel from Wuhan to San Francisco, to Australia, to Italy, to London, to Paris, to Russia. They thought that they could cripple China and Iran. And China has shown through their discipline and through the People's Liberation Army and the discipline of the Chinese Communist Party that they could protect 2 billion people. And here we are in the United States of America trying to figure out how we're going to protect 400 million people from the blowback of a CIA operation against China. My fellow citizens of the United States of America, my fellow citizens of the world, I know that they will put me on the list. I am already on the list. I know there is the possibility they may come to apprehend me before the week is over. I am not spreading fear. I am telling the truth. I am telling the facts. I am exposing what is going on with our government. And don't worry about these news conferences that Trump is having to make it look like he is now a leader and he is leading. Trump is lying. That's why he put Pence in charge of the coronavirus, so he can distance himself from any failure. It's called plausible deniability. Plausible deniability. Now, I want to tell you this. As citizens of the United States of America, all the Republican Party can do is tax cuts. They lower interest rates and the markets capitulate because the market know instantaneously that they don't have any other options, and zero interest rates will not protect you from coronavirus, from COVID-19. What they call it, a tax break, payroll tax break, is not going to protect anyone from COVID-19. And yes, the people are in panic because for once, the people of the United States of America are fully conscious and fully aware that our government has been untruthful to us and that We have been lied to. We're told that we have the best this, the best that. All Trump ever talks about when he has a news conference is what is the best. He lied about the size of the crowd at his inauguration. The leader from Iran he assassinated had a bigger crowd than him at his funeral. And when I made a comment about that on the internet, Trump blocked me from being able to tag him on Facebook, his partisans. And they will probably come after me. But what use is this life if you're not going to stand up to tyranny and to National Socialism when you see it in the making? And I want to say something to my Jewish sisters and brothers out there, the collaborators who are working with Donald Trump. I want to tell you that there were many collaborators with Hitler. There were many collaborators with Joseph Goebbels and with Dr. Mengele. And you are on the wrong side of history. Trump does not care about Jewish people. Trump is an opportunist. Trump got in deeper than what he understood. Go and look at his transcripts from college, from high school. That man don't know nothing about government. He does not even understand that we have three branches of government: an executive, a legislative, and a legal branch. And my fellow citizens, we have to take action to bring Trump to trial for treason on COVID-19.